everybody. Welcome to episode 27 of the Paws Up Podcast. Felt like only a few days ago we were doing a show, and now we're right back at it. Of course, I am joined alongside my wonderful co-hosts, Kevin Barral and Jonathan Mayer. How are you two doing? Real quick.
Doing good. Doing good.
Fantastic.
And we are joined by another member of the FIU football team. First, it was Grayson James a while ago, but now it is the veteran kicker of the FIU football program. It is Chase Gabriel. How the hell are you doing, Chase?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm honored to be on here. I appreciate you guys having me.
Oh, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for being on. You are now part of Paws Up Podcast guest royalty. Chase, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I think I lost you guys for a second. But
okay. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So to those watching on our Twitter, thank you as always. And for the sneaky sleuths out there that found out about our brand new Facebook and YouTube channels, give yourselves a pat on the back. Is that right, Kevin?
Yeah. So we are kind of doing a quick transition from Lemon City. So just to be clear, we're still with Lemon City, but we're going more independent type coverage, kind of become an independent media outlet in a certain way. But so there's a website on the way. We have a YouTube channel now. As you can see, all the episodes will still be there. As Jake is uploading them, we've had to deal with a couple stuff on the technical, and then we have a Facebook, which we believe could definitely grow. So we're excited for that, and we won't keep you guys held up too much on the explanation. We'll kind of
you guys will just have to see it to believe it. And this whole revolution starts with today's episode featuring, of course, Chase Gabriel, and just in time too, because summer practices for FIU football are right around the corner. I believe a couple of days away. So Chase, before we get into that, as I mentioned earlier, you're now entering, I believe, your third year with FIU football. So, yes. After spending a couple years already at this university, just tell us what do you think about it? And we got to know, where's the go-to hangout spot?
The go-to hangout spot. Usually right after Friday, after practice, a couple of me and my buddies, we go to the one pool and hang out. You can't beat this weather down here. I know growing up, I grew up in Georgia, and it was pretty warm for the most part. We had cold winters, and I'll tell you, I'm not a huge fan of the cold weather. So one thing I love about FAU is the temperature down there. Mm-hmm. And just going to school down there, it's been great. I will be honest with you, it definitely was a culture shock when I first got down there. Wasn't used to any of it, but I love it. I remember my second weekend down there. I went to the beach with a couple of my buddies, and they introduced me to Bad Bunny, who I had never heard before. And now, I know a couple songs by him.
You can't go a single day living here without hearing a song from Bad Bunny.
He's the guy here down there. And I don't know if he even sung the song. I know Me Pregunto, La Mamá de la Mamá, whatever. There's a new song he just came out with.
Yeah, I was about to say he dropped a new song with Travis Scott and The Weeknd, I'm pretty sure, right?
Well, it might be it, but it's a song that I just found out about. The other kicker, Lucas, actually showed me this. It's Where She Goes.
That's okay.
Which we actually just played in the locker room.
Right.
Great.
So, Chase, at what point, in your life did you believe that you wanted to pursue football as a career, and how did you land on the kicker being your position?
So I've always played football and soccer growing up my whole life, and then when I was younger, soccer and football always were part of me. My brothers, I had two older brothers. They both played football and soccer. Then my dad also played football and soccer. So growing up, did those two, kind of grew up watching my brothers play, watching my dad coach it. And so as I got older, I used to play other positions, but my body just didn't decide to grow. So kicking was kind of like my go-to position. And so, it's just fine. And then So what soccer really brought me into kicking for the most part there in that aspect. And so growing up, I've always wanted to play. It was always a dream of mine to play college football. Because I remember growing up when it'd be Saturdays in like 2010, and then a little CBS intro would come on, and I'd get goosebumps up on my arms. Growing up watching that, I was like, man, I wish I could be there. Just kind of like then and there, it was kind of like when I knew I wanted to play. Yeah.
Chase, I wanted to ask you. I was kind of looking back, and during your time with Glenn Academy in Georgia, you hit 3 50-yard field goals in a state playoff game on the touchdown trick play. So just take us through that game.
So that game was senior night against Bradwell, and we would kind of go. Well, the field goal was just I couldn't have done it though. I was very fortunate because I know some kickers aren't as fortunate to have a great snapper and a great holder in high school, and so I was very blessed to have that. So I was helped out, but I mean, they kind of was just happening. Then that trick play, I'd been asking my special teams coordinator like all year to let me run it at some point, and then he just happened to let me get it. It was about a couple seconds left in the second half, and we were right on the right hash, which he had to work on it all practice, all week, all year long. Wouldn't run it. And we were actually looking on film, and Bradwell they brought that outside guy in to come in. And so it would, because I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not the fastest guy, so we're going to need a lot of space for me to get around that corner if I'm going to be really honest. So it ended up working out well to where that trick play was able to work out. So yeah, that was one of my favorite nights, definitely, in high school.
Would you say that's the craziest game you've ever been a part of, including your time with FIU?
No.
That Bryant game was crazy, though.
I will say the craziest game I've been a part of was at FIU, and
I think
was against Law Tech.
Yeah.
You made a field goal to go to overtime.
That double overtime winner was incredible. That was definitely the craziest game I've ever been a part of. That game was incredible.
What was that like? I know because that was a game where you had, I think it was a field goal to send them to overtime. What was that like? The emotion to, in a big spot to tie the game up.
Oh, it was something else, but I couldn't have done it with the offense moving the ball down the field. I mean, they placed me with, I think it was a 26-yard field goal. So I mean, the offense, I mean, they in no time put us in that position, and then sent us into OT, and then the play that I think was it Creasy or EJ to catch that pass.
Was a
yes.
Yeah,
Chris. The little
Mitchell took pass to put us over and to win that game, which was awesome. I mean, our offense and our defense too for stopping them in double overtime. Our offense did incredible towards the end. That was a pretty electric game. I'm not gonna. That's definitely the craziest game I've been a part of.
Let's talk about getting to FIU. What was that recruiting process like? Obviously, you got great numbers in high school, but what made ultimately FIU the decision to play your college ball?
So over that summer, this is when I first met the special teams coordinator. At the time, it was that summer at a kicking camp. They saw me. I got his number. It was Coach Villano. You guys remember James Villano? And we met that summer. I think it was 2019. Actually, it feels a long time ago. So it was 2019. We met at a king camp. We kept in touch from then, and then my senior year, and then each week he'd ask for my film, and then talked to a couple other schools during that time, and then as the season went on, he was kind of like the first coach. Like FIU was kind of like the first school that showed a lot of interest in me, and that meant a lot to me. Kind of the first people that, and he always kept in touch. So then come across December, it's signing day, and I didn't think I was signing at all. It's like, so I thought I was going to go to late signing day, but I woke up, actually was sleeping wasn't expecting anything. I wake up to like 7 or 8 missed phone calls because I think anything of it. In February is a couple calls from my high school head coach, my high school special teams coach, and then special teams coordinator Butch Davis. And that's when I got my offer. And then I ended up actually signing in my mom's office that day. And it was a crowd. I was like, oh, of course, I would love to go there. So that's kind of how it went. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, it's kind of how it went with the whole recruiting process with FIU. Yeah.
So let's transition a bit now into your first year in Miami, right? So as a native of Georgia, which we talked about a bit earlier, entering Miami, of course, South Florida being culturally, weather-wise, food-wise, everything very different from Georgia. What were you most excited about and most nervous about upon your first time here?
The most exciting thing I was about was definitely the weather, 100%. Probably the most nervous thing, growing up in a small town, everything, there was no traffic, and definitely the most nervous thing was driving down there. Traffic. I mean, I've never grown up with traffic. My town has about 70,000 people. Miami has millions. I remember when I was first learning driving the turnpike. Because when I come down and go down 95 to the turnpike, I mean it's people going everywhere, and so that was probably the most nervous thing at first. But after a year, I kind of got used to it.
Definitely. How's the Spanish though? I heard it's Bad Bunny, but how's the Spanish?
The Spanish. I know, like, hola, ¿cómo están? There's a están, and it's like, de donde eres? And then, once we get there, kind of, that's when I get lost. I know the first sentences, but I know, when I've got a buddy who originally was from down here. We're on the fan, and we were going to hang up, and then I finally learned the word dale, and I was confused at first. I didn't know what dale. He was like, dale. I'm like, I was going to say, all right, bye, and he goes, dale. And I know what that word means now. It's kind of like peace, right?
Dale, yeah.
Dale, yeah. So I learned that, and that was something else. I know how to say goodbye or peace in Spanish. I know how to say hello, how are you? I know to ask where you're from, and then that's kind of it. Once you get past that, it's kind of like a guessing game.
And then now talk about your getting to FIU as a freshman. You're the starter. Obviously, it was a short season, but what was that like to have the confidence to be as a freshman, to start games, get opportunities to extra points, field goals, and that opportunity for you, and really how that helped you grow as a kicker?
Oh, it definitely helped out a lot. Kind of just like getting thrown, because sometimes like getting thrown in that live situation helps out a lot in games, because obviously in games a lot different practice. But one thing that it teaches me is that freshman year is like the kick is the same in practice as it is in the game. That's one thing that helped me kind of grow as a kicker. Like any kick and when we're doing team field goal, it's going to be the same thing as when we're doing a field goal in a game. That's something that helped me out, being able to be in that situation freshman year.
I do want to ask about the 2020 season. Only 5 games in total, and unfortunately, none of them ended how you wanted to, Chase. But just talk to us about that season as a whole. A lot of games were rescheduled, canceled, and that was the pandemic season. And obviously, I believe you guys it was really difficult conditions to kind of go through that season. I would assume.
Yeah. So that season was an interesting one. COVID was going on that time, so that kind of messes everything up. With social distancing and stuff like that. And, we had a bunch of rules that the coaches can't, like, we have to be spaced apart. We have to be meeting. So it's not kind of like face to face. So it's hard to communicate with each other. And so that kind of made it hard. And then going through the guidelines through traveling and stuff like that. And then our team was in and out. We started out, which not a lot of, I know that some teams, a lot of them get COVID all at once. Mm-hmm. And so by the time they got COVID this season, they were good to go. We kind of we're going to like phases of groups where people get COVID, like 15 to 20 people at a time. So that was kind of difficult when you have 4 to 5 starters on each side of the ball out for the game, and then you have to get their room, people that were around them, that could potentially have it. So it was mainly just the people being ineligible to play due to the COVID. That was interesting, but I'm happy that it's over now, that we have no more COVID and that not us, but pretty much never COVID, but
yeah,
that there's no more guidelines, But that COVID definitely played a huge role in that season, 100%.
yeah. And I've always wanted to ask this to someone who was on that 2020 squad, because again, the differences just week to week in that season versus now are just completely unheard of. It still is wild that a season even happened then. But
yeah,
how did you guys initially find out about games being canceled, and who was the first one to break the news to you, and how did you guys react week in and week out?
So we would treat every beginning of the week as if we were playing on Saturday, and we'd usually find out around Thursday. It'd be about Thursday before we'd go on the trip. We knew we had a couple guys out because a couple of times, I think maybe once or twice out of those games, we were unable to play due to the amount of players we had. I think at one point we had three offensive linemen, like at practice. At one point, you can't really play a football game with only 3 linemen. So, and then other games, the team would contact us and they'd be like, "Hey guys, we have 20, 25 guys out of COVID. We aren't able to play." And it was kind of like a back and forth thing, But as I said, we go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because you gotta act like you're gonna play a game, then because it's kind of just like up in the air kind of thing each week. So,
It must have been really crazy.
so we have to do it every week as if we were playing Saturday. So then kind of just like up in the air kind of thing, but what was I gonna say? But yeah, it was kind of just 50-50 chance each Saturday.
So
that
was a crazy year.
Yeah, definitely.
That was ridiculous. So Chase, you're a kicker, right? And kickers matter too. Kickers absolutely matter. Games can come down to the foot of a kicker. So let's just talk about kickers, okay?
All right.
So Kevin, Jonny, Chase, we've all seen those videos, I know, about, a day in the life of a football player, right? Mm-hmm. Usually it's like the star quarterback or weapons around him on a team. But surprise, surprise, you just don't see that many for kickers. So let's clear the air here, Chase. Okay. What does a day in the life of a kicker, such as yourself, look like?
Day in life, like you want me to give a day in life like my practice?
Yes.
My practice. So a day in the life, I'll give you the whole detail. So I wake up, I walk across because I live in Parkview, so I just have to walk right across the street. I go to breakfast and I make myself a cream cheese bagel.
Oh, that's it.
We have our meeting with, I'll give you a recent day in the life. So we have our meeting with Buck, Coach Buckner and Roper. Roper's our special teams coordinator, Buckner, analyst. And then we proceed to go to, and if we have practice, sometimes we'll have a team meeting before we go out to practice, kind of decide what the game plan is, what units are going over and stuff like that. And so then we get dressed in the locker room, we go out to practice, and then we stretch, and then we warm up. We do like some no steps, some 1 steps, and then get a couple of live ops in. And usually for me, since I do field goals and extra points, we will do that a lot of times in the first period of practice, right after stretch. Mike Tyler will bring the team up, and then we'll go field goal, field goal, field goal. And then we'll go do about 4 or 5 kicks, and then me and Lucas both will go. Lucas Peters, who's the other kicker, we'll do about 4 or 5 kicks each. And then after that, it's pretty laid back. We'll maybe show team for. Actually, this past spring we were show teaming a little bit for a defense, kind of attempt to run routes, and then one day we actually threw on some gloves and kind of did the whole wide receiver thing, and it was a great time. And some days we'll do that, or we'll just work on some other things such as holding or specialty kicks, such as onside kicks, and then after that we'll maybe do a little stretching at the end of practice. So as if for a fall camp, if we have to kick the next day, we'll stretch at the end of practice, and then we'll go back in. Then practice is concluded. We'll go back in, and then we may, depending on how much we kick, we may get in the ice bath. We may not, and then if we didn't kick a lot, we won't. Because, as I said earlier, if it's not a necessity, but if it is, I'll get in the ice tub. But if it's not, I would say I'm not the biggest fan. You can ask the other specialists that too. But if I'm sore, I gotta hop in. And after that, it's just school, eat, hang out, and that's about it.
That was awesome.
Kind of like detail by detail what we did.
That was super cool, dude. That was just lights out. That was lights out.
I think my favorite part.
Lights out! Lights out!
Oh, that was sad. That's funny. But my favorite part there of my day is going into breakfast, seeing Buck and all the specialists and Roper, and eating my cream cheese bagel.
Every day, cream cheese bagel. Every practice.
It's every day cream cheese bagel. Actually, now McIntyre got us a chef or a guy that makes omelets on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Ooh. So ever since we got him, he's awesome too. He's over there whipping omelets for everybody. 3 pans going at once. I mean, he works his tail off. And so there'll be some days I'll get my bagel, and this is only on Tuesday, Thursday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's a cream cheese bagel. But Tuesdays and Thursdays now, recently, I'm going butter on each bagel, okay. And then I'll go to our chef, and then I'll get bacon, cheese, and eggs, and then I'll put it on my bagel. Have like a bacon egg bagel.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Leftovers, because the serving size are kind of large. There'll be leftovers, so I have like leftover scrambled eggs.
That's smart.
The move. That's the move.
So good.
Yeah. So that was that, and then that's overall. Despite the fact that's kind of like the day in the life of a kicker on practice day.
I like it. So I want to ask you, just in your opinion, what is the ideal temperature and speed of wind for a kicker on game day? And does a place like Miami kind of, is that beneficial doing that in Miami, or does it kind of, affect the way that the ball kind of leaves your foot?
Obviously if you really want to go into depth, there's differences in air quality. Like obviously like out west, the air's thinner. The ball's going to fly a little farther. When it's a little colder, the ball might not fly as well off your foot. But Miami's, it's even though it's a little humid, it doesn't make much of it. It's a great place to kick. But obviously thinner air out west rather than thicker air. The ball's going to fly a little better, but I like kicking in Miami, to be honest. Like I said, it's a small difference between the two. But I do enjoy kicking in Miami. Obviously, like I said earlier, hot's better than cold.
Yeah. So there would be a massive difference kicking here between last year when you kicked in New Mexico State.
Yes, technically, yes, there is. The air's thinner, so you'll see the ball go a little higher up in the air, a little farther. There is a slight difference. Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
interesting. I didn't realize that until I got older. But yeah, there is a difference in how thin the air is, how thick it is. But I try not to think about that. I just try to put the ball through like the yellow poles, and if it does this, I'm happy. If it doesn't do that, it's no good. So I just try to put the ball in the yellow poles and call it a day.
Just keeping it simple. I like that.
Yeah.
So it's time to get serious now. Something that a lot of players in both college and the professionals, the NFL. Something they voiced about is the argument of turf versus natural grass when it comes to playing surfaces, right? And I'd like to believe that you, Chase, have been able in your career to play on both types of fields, especially turf, because that's what FIU uses. So, in your opinion, is there a noticeable difference kicking footballs on turf compared to real grass and vice versa? And which do you prefer?
Which one do I prefer? You know, there is a slight difference, but it's not much because, you know, grass, your plant's a little more like stiff, right? Like your plant's like, because when you stick in the grass, it kind of catches. You know how turf has like the pedals?
Yeah.
It like kind of goes through, so he slips. But over time, you kind of just like, it's whatever you get used to. And so in high school, I kicked on grass, and so I was used to kicking on grass. So when I got to FIU, it took me a little bit. It took me like a week or two to get used to it. But you know, if there's like a difference between the two of which one's better, I think it's kind of goes more to like what you're more used to, and so it's sorts like that because eventually over time, like since majority of the time I've kicked on turf. So now I'm used to turf rather than grass, so my plant's a little more used to having a slight movement. So rather than going from like which one's better, kind of depends on like which one you use more. In my opinion, that's my opinion on it. Kind of whatever one you're more used to and feel comfortable with.
Let's talk about the state of the kicker in 2023. Obviously, the NFL, Justin Tucker, who keeps redefining his own record in the books. So what would you say about the state of a kicker within 2023 overall, college and NFL?
Like the state, who's like the best kicker? What do you mean by that?
I would, we can do that. Who's like probably a inspiration guys you look up to within the world of kicking?
My probably role model in kicking, who I can, because obviously every kicker's kind of got a different way of doing things. Like Justin Tucker's legs are a lot larger than mine, so he hits the ball a lot. Because I'm a whopping 5'8.5", so and I think Tucker might be over 6 feet or something. His legs are super long, so wonderful kicker, can kick the ball miles and miles. But if I look up someone and he's not very far from us, it's Jason Sanders.
Okay, yeah.
Definitely. He's kind of got a smaller build, and like I kind of like the way he uses like his whole body to get the ball through because we're pretty small, so we have to use everything we got to get it going somewhere. So if I had to look up someone, definitely be Jason Sanders, and I think he's a phenomenal kicker, and he's done well for the Dolphins. So definitely Sanders.
Oh, that's super cool. Of course, Dolphins fans on Sunday. Are you a Dolphins fan, or are you a Falcons fan because you grew up in Georgia?
I'm gonna meet you right in the middle. I'm a Jaguars fan.
Whoa!
Go Jags! I love the Jaguars. I grew up in Brunswick, Georgia, and so Jacksonville is about 45 minutes from me. So growing up, it's kind of just been like. Everybody in my town, Atlanta's 4.5 hours from us. Even though we're in Georgia, it's a lot easier to go to Jacksonville games. So growing up, it's kind of always kind of been for the Jags. Definitely, and I'm hoping, man. I know they had like an 8-8. I think it was 8-8 year.
They won a playoff game.
Yeah,
they got to
an amazing game.
Yeah. We loved. That made me happy because in the past they've been not the greatest, but I mean they're turning it up. Trevor Lawrence is there, he's built his groove a little bit, and I think this next year they're actually gonna be pretty good.
All
right. Is it time for a break, Kevin?
It is, Mr. Jake.
All right, then it sounds like it is time for News Break, your look at all things latest in FIU athletics and just FIU in general. So let's conveniently start with FIU Football, who is on their way to Texas for the annual Conference USA football kickoff event, which will take place tomorrow at Globe Life Field at Arlington, Texas. All 9 Conference USA teams will be in attendance in press conferences with the media, both in person and digitally. For FIU, their conference is set for 8:50 a.m. Central Time, so I believe 9:50 here, and will feature the head coach of the team, Mike McIntyre, along with wide receiver Chris Mitchell and defensive lineman Jeremy Passmore. Sticking with football now, Conference USA has also released their annual football preseason watch list for every team, highlighting the 5 players that CUSA thinks everyone should watch out for. In the case of FIU, it includes former guest of the show Grayson James, offensive lineman Jacob Peace, linebacker Donovan Manuel, defensive lineman Jordan Garrod, and punter Deton Montiel. I hope I didn't butcher that. But lastly, there might be a new revolutionary way to take selfies thanks to an FIU alum. Jesus Dobbins has recently developed the Selfie Band, an elastic curl-up stand that attaches to phones and sticks, and it sticks, wraps, and stands on all types of surfaces, allowing for more creative possibilities when taking selfies wherever you go. Dobbins said that he came up with the idea during the pandemic and has done everything in his power to get the Selfie Band ready for commercial use, including getting the idea patented and speaking to investors via Shark Tank to get the band mass produced. And I know Kevin's going to be a fan of that. He's always taking photos, right? Yeah. All right. There was your look at a news break. Alrighty then. Kick us off, Kevin.
Alrighty. So you had a pretty busy campaign last year after playing all 12 games. You racked up 52 total points, including 8 field goals and 28 PATs. Just how would you grade yourself last season? Just what grade would you give yourself for your performance in 2022?
To be honest, I thought it was not the greatest. It could have been definitely. It definitely wasn't great. But overall, it's like I didn't think I did as good as I should have done. To be honest, I wouldn't grade myself that great, but hoping for a better outlook. I think overall as a team, though, we did a lot better than the year prior, too. So, and I think this year is going to be even better. I think we've been in spring and summer ball, like as a team. We feel a lot connected. So I think it's going to be a good year this next year. Definitely.
So in that, now there was one game I wanted to mention from last year, and it was the game against Middle Tennessee, right? In November, you kicked your longest field goal in your career at FIU, being 53 yards long. So take us to that play, Chase. Was there a moment when the ball left your foot that you felt like it wasn't going to make it, or were you as cool as a cucumber that you knew for sure it was going in? Like, that's light.
Okay, so Middle Tennessee, I remember that game pretty vividly. I mean, you couldn't beat the weather that we felt when we were walking out there. It was probably 60 degrees, sunny and it felt wonderful. The weather was perfect for football. Like middle of fall, it was incredible. So we're coming out, and it's the opening drive, I'm pretty sure. I think they had the ball first. We stop them. We get the ball back. I think it was very beginning of the game. I think it was the opening drive, if not maybe second drive we had. And I remember we were driving down the field, and then we're going. And I honestly, it was kind of like a 50-50 chance we were going to take it. And then I remember I think it was Butch goes, "We're doing it. Go. Why not?" I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's go. And so me and Dayton go out there, and I take my steps back, and then we go. Snap, hold, kick. And, I kind of hit it off my toe, so it was iffy. Because, I remember watching the video. My mom, because my parents had the game, they got a video. It was about this far. So when I hit it, I was like, all right, well, it's online. I knew it was straight. Thing is, I didn't know if it was going to get there or not. So I remember looking. It was kind of like, going. going, and then it was gone. It was good. So that was kind of what's going on through my head because, I mean, it made it about that much. But it was definitely – it was one of my favorite moments. So great.
I want to know, as somebody that, is interested in football, how much important is it of Jackson Lee, the long snapper? Like, obviously, he's the one you have to get, the right snap. How important is he to make sure the ball's right there and able to kick it off?
Oh, he's very important. I mean, I don't think long snappers in general. In Jackson Lee, I mean, he is one of the. I mean, it's not the best. He's an incredible long snapper. I mean, just from. I mean, I know even last year. I mean, he's being a freshman and starting and snapping games like that. I mean, was incredible. Composed, I mean, he gave me the best snaps I could ask. I mean, I'm pretty sure every field goal I had, which was laces out, which is all a kicker can ask for. And so he's incredible. I mean, he makes up a lot of the field team, and he's one of the main reasons why a lot of those kicks happen. I mean, I think long snap, I think him in general, I mean, incredible long snapper. And Dayton Montiel, who's a holder, unreal holder. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better holder and snapper. I mean, they're both off the charts. The best person I've ever had. And they've been incredible.
I do want to talk a little bit about those guys. Just looking ahead at 2023, there are a few other kickers on the roster that are all looking for playing time. Those are Matias, Matt Enriquez, and Montiel. Just your thoughts on each of them, and how open is the kicker position at this time?
I think every year it's fair. I mean, it's college. It's fair game. It's and Lucas is an incredible kicker as well. I know it's college. Nothing's ever given. So this fall camp, I think I think it's always 50-50 every fall camp. It's whoever makes the kicks. Lucas is only. I mean, as you know, he does kickoffs. He's a very good field goal kicker as well. So I mean, it's up for anyone to grab. And Dave Montiel, I go on by the other specialist. Dave Montiel, unbelievable punter. I know he's, I think, the second team all conference or preseason all conference. Great guy. He's actually one of my roommates, one of my really good friends. I mean, incredible punter. One of the most consistent punters I've seen. He'll hit the 45-yard 4-5 outside the hashes every time. Right where Roper wants it. And then Matt Enriquez, hard-working guy. Great kicker as well too. He works his tail off. If you need someone on scout team, Matt's the first one to raise his hand. And he's the most hardworking I've probably been around in my life. And then Jackson Lee, as I said prior, unbelievable snapper, especially being 18 years old and throwing in the college game. That's not an easy position to be in. And he excelled in every aspect of it last year. And he will do this year. I'm positive on that. And then we've got Jordan Doling, the Australian. He's a huge, massive guy. I mean, he's 6'5", 230, might be the biggest punter in America. But he was also an incredible punter. He gives Dayton some time. Dayton obviously does well too. Those two are pretty back and forth today. And Jordan Doling's a great punter as well. And then we have a new guy, Tyler Patterson, who he's a freshman, incoming freshman. I won't be surprised if he's making a lot of field goals for FIU in the next coming years. He has a huge leg. We've seen him kick this summer, and even he does both 2 months as well. And he's also a very good punter. He does it all. So those are the guys right there.
Are we good?
Yeah, Jonny, you okay?
I'm great.
Oh, you're doing great. Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Now, I want to know, Chase, about the chemistry, because whether I'm at spring practice, fall practice, your guys are all together, probably off the field. So, what is the whole special teams group, and what you guys are like, all season long?
All season long, we're always with each other, even off the field. We're always really with each other. On and off, we're pretty just late. We all just kind of just obviously practice whatever coaches do or ask us to do. We'll go do it. But other than that, we're kind of, I would say we're a little bit of some goofballs sometimes. But yeah, no, I mean, I mean, the chemistry's great between us. You know, the typical college specialist, hanging out, just kind of doing whatever the coach asks you, and if they don't ask us to do anything, we're kind of goofing off just a little bit. But obviously, whatever our coaches ask, we do and get it done. But you know, the chemistry's great between all of us, and I mean, even off the field, we're usually hanging out, doing stuff, going to the pool, going to the beach, hanging out around campus, playing FIFA and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. Alrighty then, Chase. So let's assume that the starting kicker come week 0 for FIU football is Chase Gabriel. So if that's the case, do you have you set a season goal for yourself in one way or the other, whether it's an amount of field goals you want to make, the highest field goal you think you can make this season? What are the goals you have set upon yourself this season?
To just help the team in any way I can. I individually, it's kind of obviously I want to put every ball in the upright in between the yellow poles, but my main goal is to help the team, not hurt the team. And you know, I definitely would like to have better years in the past, you know. But my main goal is to help the team. And you know, in anywhere, if I'm kicking, I hope I help the team in any way and don't hurt it when I'm out there. And then if I'm not kicking, I hope I'm helping the team, encouraging players to go on the field and encouraging whoever's kicking, encourage them, keep them confident, keep them making the field goal. But yeah, that's kind of like my overall goal. Personally, like stats wise, not necessarily have anything. I just said just definitely missing field goals hurts the team, so I don't want to do that. So just making field goals, putting it through the uprights, and just helping the team in any way I can. And if it's being the kicker, it's being the kicker. If it's not, then it's encouraging.
I do want to ask about Zach Roper. He's the new special teams coordinator. Just how's it been working with him?
Oh, it's awesome. You know, he's great. He's really come in. And, you know, he's working with two groups too. He's doing defense and special teams right now, and so he's working his tail off coming in. And you know, he's got to spend a lot of time with defense, but he takes a lot of his own time to come out with us, you know, be in depth with us, like kind of like coach us up on a couple of things, you know, really in depth. You know, he's awesome. I'm very happy to have him.
And then finally, before we go to rapid fire, Jake, I don't know if you're going to ask this at the end, but who do you think should be the next football player we bring onto this podcast?
The next football player?
It could be anyone on the team.
Lucas Matias. He is Lucas Matias, great human, unbelievable character. You guys will love to have him on here. He's something else. He'll give you guys the giggles. I'm telling you that.
I love what was it, the pooch kick he made against La Tech?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
This unbelievable pitcher like this. Awesome. And, you know, that's him then. He is very outgoing. He's incredible. He'd be the perfect guy for this Paws Up Podcast. I'm telling you that. Right. Yeah, that was an incredible kick.
We'll get him.
I was gonna ask that, Kevin. Damn. All right. Okay. No, it's good. It's good that we know this. So next time we approach Randy, we know who we're gonna want, right? So shout out Randy. So,
I think this is the trend we have to do every time. We got to get a different player to tell us who's the next one.
Facts. That's big facts. Yeah, we absolutely have to do that. So. All right, Chase. Let's chill out and do some rapid fire questions, right? So let's start with our good friend Grayson James, who told us in the episode we had him on that you were the funniest player on the team. If that's so, what's the funniest thing you've done on that team?
Oh boy.
Let me think. I don't. That's funny. I mean, I guess I'm funny. I don't know. The funniest thing I've done, you know, I kind of like jiggy with it sometimes in the locker room.
Ooh, I see those videos. Posted,
yeah, we do see those.
The last time that we had the rain delay during the spring game.
I mean, I kind of do like a little twirl spin. Like I made my bunch. I'm just kind of just like moving my head a ton and spinning and just moving my hands. I've gotten a couple hairdos. I've shaved my head a couple months ago. And then probably the fun. I guess just getting jiggy with it. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, I can't really give you one, but I guess just jiggy, just dancing, doing like a little twirl. I don't even know what I call it. I just put my right foot over the left and just get a nice little spin.
Well, we'll see what when after like Hunter posts the little post game vids, the wins. We got to see it.
We have to, yeah.
I'll give you the little twirl spin. I'll give it to you guys.
Yeah.
I'm hoping I hope I get to do a bunch of them this year. Yeah. And I think it's gonna be a good year.
I do want to ask you who if you had to give someone the aux, who are you giving the aux, and who are you not giving the aux?
If I could give someone the aux, it would be Will Pendergrass.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not giving someone the aux, I love you, Matt, but it's gonna be you, homie. I love you to death, but it's not Matt Enriquez.
Wait, what's on Will's playlist?
He's got a little bit of everything. He's got country, which I like, and then he's got some house music, which I've just became accustomed to down in Miami, and then he's got some EDM, and then he's got. Those are the three main ones that he plays a lot. It's pretty good though. He's got
Bad Bunny.
He's got the whole spectrum.
Not Bad Bunny though.
Not Bad Bunny. Sometimes I'll flip in a Bad Bunny song there. The little TT made for Gunto.
Right. You can't escape Bad Bunny. There's just no way.
Not down there. No shot. He's everywhere. Definitely.
I gotta know. You talked about kickers. You said Jason Sanders. Who is the greatest of all time in your eyes as a kicker?
Greatest of all time. Gotta be either Vinatieri or Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker or Vinatieri. Even though I look up Jason Sanders, those are the two. If you want to talk about overall career, I think Justin Tucker's in his peak of his career right now.
Yeah.
And he's incredible. And then Vinatieri, obviously in the past, was very good too.
Okay, well then let's before we continue. By the way, there's Kevin. Hey, Kevin.
Is my camera on?
No.
I don't know what's happening. All right, hold up. Give me a second. You asked my questions, Johnny.
Okay. Well, let's rephrase that best kicker question. The Super Bowl's on the line. It comes down to a kicker to make a 40-yard kick. Who in the history of the NFL are you choosing?
Does it matter like how old they are now?
No, it doesn't. At their prime.
I'm judging them like off the base of peak of each career.
Yes.
Okay, Vinatieri then. 100% Vinatieri.
Yeah.
Vinatieri.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah, we have to make a camera adjustment. All right.
But definitely Vinatieri. I think my guy that I'm choosing.
Right. Okay. It's a good pick. It's a good pick. So I'd like to know your thoughts, Chase, on your workspace being the FIU Football Stadium. I know you recently the locker rooms were renovated. You got to see those along with a bunch of other new, I believe, hydrotherapy and other available recovery things for the football players. So what are your thoughts on the stadium?
Oh, it is so nice. I'll tell you, you walk in and it just feels so different than it did before. We've got this now, it's like different lights. It's very bright now. Walk in. What's like the whole little whatever. It's really what it felt like while going in there, and then got this amount of space in there. We got this like code lock and a locker in there. We're very blessed. I mean, McIntyre balled out for us for that. We can't thank him enough. The locker room's awesome.
I saw it. It's a beautiful locker room.
Oh yeah, it's super.
Pretty good.
Definitely. And one thing that's nice now, because our kicker meetings aren't nearly as long as some other meetings. It's not necessarily as much coverage. Kind of, you make the field goal, you don't make the field goal, you put the kickoff here, and you put the punt there. So you spend a lot of time in the locker room. And so now we got these all the seats are connected. So now you can just lay back on the seats while we're waiting. Everyone get back, and everyone just like a lot of special laying across each line of seats. That's another benefit into that locker room.
Like, I know you're on campus. Obviously, you live in the dorms. What's your favorite place to eat on campus?
Favorite place?
Yeah.
Miro's food truck, but it's probably the worst for me. But food truck. Oh, it's so good. And then I'll say a Troppy Trop Bowl is pretty good from
Pollo. And
then what else is there? Lucas actually put me on this new place, Sergio's.
That's my favorite.
That's a really good place.
Fire.
Sergio's is pretty good. Yeah, those three are my go-to, and then Chili's is fun too because everyone goes to Chili's, so it's nice to like eat, hang out, and stuff like that. I like Chili's.
Do you like Chipotle? Are you a Chipotle guy?
I wasn't, and then now I got FIU, and because I was just kind of I was super plain. I'd get a Mexican restaurant and order. I was the guy that would order chicken fingers and fries. Yeah, I
quesadillas though.
I was that guy. I remember my mom. She'd get so mad at me. We'd go there. We'd go to this place called Cilantro's back home after church, and they'd go around the menu of my family, and I'd be like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Chicken fingers." And then, so then I get chicken fingers, but now I've kind of expanded my horizons a ton.
Okay.
So now we're not doing chicken fingers at Mexican
No
restaurant.
shame though. No shame.
No.
I was a huge fan. I was that guy. It was bad. But now, I had to do. I mean, I was going to Chipotle my sophomore year, spring, almost every week. I was doing, but I get the burritos. I get guac, sour cream. Actually, my roommate Hayden Carlson put me on this one. You guys should try it out. It's guac, sour cream, pinto beans, white rice, half chicken, half steak, and
that's a mega meal.
Yeah, I think that's it. But it is so good.
You heard him, Jonny. Chipotle is good, bro.
Jonny.
We're not doing that.
You don't like Chipotle?
I'm a Moe's guy. I like Moe's better.
Moe's? What's that burrito they have there? You get. I will say the stack's pretty good.
Yeah, like I know what you're talking about. Like
the stack is pretty good. It's a lot of food too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the perfect segue into this next question. Let's say tomorrow FIU says, "All right, we're bringing out a new restaurant onto campus," and Chase Gabriel decides what it's going to be. What's your pick?
Ooh, Chipotle would get so packed. I don't know if I want. But Panther Bucks for Chipotle sound.
I was thinking Raising Cane's. That's a good one.
Hey, that is all. I wish we had a Zaxby's down here because growing up, Zaxby's was my favorite fast food.
Yeah.
But Raising Cane's, same exact thing.
Yeah.
That was pretty money. I think I might get Raising Cane's. It'd also it'd make it killing. Yeah. It might hurt to make his food truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, poor guy. And the guy that runs it is my homie. Or I haven't seen him in a while because I haven't gone. Or I also went summer. But dang, that would hurt my homie because if you had Raising Cane's, I'm gonna get Raising Cane's. Sorry, homie.
I need to try Raising Cane's.
It's so good.
It'd be,
That's Jake's go-to spot. Jake has that like once a week.
Yeah, so I'm down in Homestead, and they built one like a mile, like 2 miles away from where I live. So
and the one in Homestead.
yeah, so it's very good. I do enjoy it.
And there's one in South Beach too.
Right? Yeah. There is.
You know, I'm pretty mad at myself. I love Canes, but I've not yet gone to the one down there. I've made a couple plans to go like a day, probably go to Canes one. It fell through, and I've yet. That's my good. After, of course, we start fall camp on Wednesday, so I don't know if I'm time to go in the next 3 weeks, but once fall camp's over, that's gonna be good too. I'm gonna try.
Okay, just quick tip. If you do want to go, don't use the drive-thru. The drive-thru, no matter what time of day you go, it'll always be full. Just walk in and get the food, because there's barely ever a line, because there's like 3 cashiers working the front at once, so they get your order in and out quickly inside. Not the drive-thru
service is not it though.
Yeah, the drive-thru ain't it. Just go in, get your food, and come out. That's a much better system.
Same thing with Chick-fil-A. With Chick-fil-A, that drive-thru is horrid.
Oh, by Flagler? Are you talking about the one? Or you talking about the one on Flagler?
No, there's another one.
It
was like one of the more recent. It's by FIU. It's not too far. It's like 20 minutes away, maybe.
Well, there's a Chick-fil-A on Flagler, or we come out of FIU, take a left, right by the Target.
Oh, okay, I know where that is. Yeah.
All right.
Stuff like that. Yeah, I remember because huge fan of Chick-fil-A, going ate it all the time, and so I went there, and they have like 3 lines going all the way through the parking lot. Plaza. It was the longest Chick-fil-A line I've ever seen.
It's always worth it though. In the end, though, it's like
definitely.
Yeah.
It's a nice chicken nugget meal with a large cookies and cream milkshake. You can't miss. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, it's one at FIU though, so it doesn't actually. We're good with that. It's at FIU.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I usually just go to that one, but I've been stuck to go to Flagler one. But usually it's just a nice little way around campus, right to that little left corner of campus. I think it's actually. Your Moe's is there too now.
That's true. Yeah, that's where I go. That's the go-to.
So you got your 2 money places in the same little plaza.
Yeah. I want to know. I have a question because I know you're on campus. Do you have a scooter? Do you have a scooter? Or do you have mode of transportation? Do you walk? What's the deal for Chase Gabriel?
No, but Lucas has a scooter, so I just ride. We'll do like the little. I'll hold on to his shoulders and we'll just head somewhere, or I'll just borrow a scooter.
Actually, I see all you guys with the scooters. It's smart though. You don't want to walk, one side to another,
Oh yeah, and in the summer, you walk. If I were to walk from Parkview to Chick-fil-A in the summer, oh my gosh, I'd be dripping. But usually, me and Lucas just hop on the scooter and go to wherever. His scooter's so nice. Oh, we're actually, me and a couple buddies about to move off here soon, and I'm gonna have to get something now, so I don't have to be walking. I think I'm gonna bring a little beach cruiser down there, on my bike to class or to the facility, or I might have to invest in a scooter because those things are nice.
Yeah, everyone has it.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
I think at least 15 to 20 people on a team have a scooter.
Jesus.
Yeah. They're definitely nice to have.
Have you seen the new the FIU Vice jerseys yet, or no?
No, not yet. That's secret for we. I think I'm gonna see them very soon though.
How excited are you for that?
I think in about 2 days or a day. I'm guessing because usually we have this meet, or actually it's gonna be tomorrow night. We have a meet. We have like a little dinner, a little get together before we go into like a spring ball or camp after break. And usually there's some little surprise. I think I might see him tomorrow night.
Oh my God! Please.
Have you guys seen him?
No, we're just like everybody else. We want to see him so bad, and it's worse because you see all these NFL teams on social media, right, revealing new uniforms like the Seahawks, the Colts, the Titans, and whatnot. We're like, damn, I wish FIU would follow suit and just drop them already, man.
Yeah, they got to keep it a secret. Oh God, yeah, no, I'm ready to see them there. I think they're gonna look sweet.
I do know that you guys are gonna wear them late in the year, though. I think it's against UTEP here at home. So,
ooh, is that maybe a homecoming game or?
No, I think that's that's a national. I think that's an ESPN game. So
is that right?
What?
That's all right.
I do want to ask you though. That's interesting for you. Probably the first time in college career. What is it like playing on Wednesdays now in the month of October? What is that going to be like for you?
Oh, I mean, I'm pretty fired up for ESPN. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring us more viewers. I mean, what else is someone gonna watch on Wednesday? You got college football on.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm all for it. I think it was good by the conference. It's gonna bring more viewers, more people. I'm all for it. I'm gonna love it. Definitely.
Big fact.
Guys, do you guys like the Wednesday games?
Oh, I love it.
It's going to be awesome because there's just so much to watch on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and of course Sunday. But Wednesday is one of those days in like sports where there's usually not much going on. So,
I mean, watching some, it's either going to be your Netflix show or it's going to be whatever you're watching, or the news if you're watching the news channel. But you might as well watch college football.
Yeah. On ESPN. You were on ESPN.
There's nothing better to watch than college sports. There's nothing.
Yeah.
You can't beat it.
No, you can't.
I think it's going to do great. I'm looking forward to the Wednesday games. Schedule's going to feel a little different at first because, instead of game day being on Saturdays, it's going to be like a practice day, but it's going to make up for it. I think it's going to be just fine. I'm looking forward to it, definitely.
Chase, we can't thank you enough for spending an hour with us just talking all things FIU football and Raising Cane's and Zaxby's and Moe's.
Thank you guys for having me. It was awesome.
So let's close the show now with a word from our guest, Chase. We're gonna leave the floor to you. If you have anything you'd like to say to the fans, the alumni, to your teammates, to anyone watching about this upcoming football season, the floor is yours.
The Panthers are on the prowl. That's all I have to say. And we're going to be prowling all season long. Thank you.
I went for a drink of water and I had to immediately put it down. No, but
at the top of my head, why not?
And go to the games. Go to the games, everybody watching. You better.
We'd love to have you. We would really enjoy it. Thank you. And the Wednesday one too.
Yeah, Wednesday's going to be worth it.
Going to be able to do. So come to the football games.
Kevin, Jonny, y'all have anything left for the viewers?
No, just stay tuned for all our big transitions from one spot to another, and I guess for all our followers who are on Lemon City, just make sure that going from one place to another. We'll make it clear. Don't worry. We'll put
Jonny.
Now it was great having Chase on. Obviously, good luck with fall camp. I know it's always a grind with those 3 weeks, but before you know it, football season about a month now until you guys kick off against La Tech, which should be really really exciting for the whole athletic department.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Definitely.
Chase, once again, thanks for joining, and to all our fans watching on Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Until next time, Paws Up.
Paws Up.